Hello everyone. Today I am here with Steamed Out.
Hello.
Is there anything you would like to say before we get started?
Thank you for letting me do this. And thank you for actually being able to do this. Pretty much it.
It's very much my pleasure. Okay, we actually have a bunch of questions for you. We are going to start off with the narrator questions.
Alrighty.
How did you come up with your channel name?
That's actually pretty easy. When I was younger, my brother Dalton and I would always play video games on Steam. If you ever heard of the, Steam thing, like Steam-powered community thing on like Gary's Mod, all that. Well, as a joke, I would just play on, jump around, and he'd just say, "You need to Steam out." And that's just kind of where it came to thought whenever I started a YouTube channel.
How did your persona come to be?
Well, I'm a very creative person, so the persona, she just kind of came to mind to be a doll, like with the power center stuff, kind of like a ghost.
Do you have any future plans for your channel?
I'm actually trying to put together a narration, but otherwise, I'm trying to see what the other people, along with who watch my channel, want to see, and it's kind of hard when you don't really get many comments. But like, because I'm a newer narrator still, and yeah. But I have some narrations in mind.
How has narrating changed you and your life?
It's actually changed me a lot with a lot of the other things that I do as well. But this one really changed me because it allows me to, well, be able to do the one thing that actually, releases me from a lot of the stress that's going on around my family and so much more.
Why did you start narrating?
Um, my Aunt Mindy, actually, before she passed away, she always knew how much I loved reading and how I loved to narrate the stories and bring character alive, because I always knew how to bring character to, the characters. I always knew how to bring them alive. And so pretty much when I was, just reading to myself, my Aunt Mindy, recommended it. And, she said, "Hey, maybe you should like do a narration thing or some sort." And I never really actually thought about doing it until maybe a few weeks after she died.
What creepypasta do you want to narrate but are having trouble doing so?
I actually started Laughing Jack a while back. And when I did have my computer, which actually I have it back now, thank God. But all the files that were previously on this computer were all erased. So therefore, I have to re-record all of that. And that's pretty much the struggles with it, because I was almost done with Laughing Jack and everything, and then it just went kaput.
What creepypasta has made an impact on your life?
Honestly, the creepypasta that made an impact on my life would have to be the first creepypasta I've ever read. And surprisingly, it was not Jeff the Killer. It was actually along the lines of Slender Man. So pretty much, I just kind of got hooked from it from there on and just kept reading them. Found a couple YouTube channels that were already narrating them and listened to them, read them on my own, stuff like that.
What creepypasta will you not narrate?
Simple enough. The creepypasta I will never narrate would be Nina the Killer and anything along Nina the Killer. because it's pretty much a Jeff the Killer fan fiction, and it's just a big no. I mean, if anyone else out there likes it, congratulations, I'm proud. Enjoy it as much as you can. But, you know, Jeff the Killer is a ruthless killer, not a boy toy. Simple enough.
That is it for the narrator questions. The next set are to you as a writer.
Okay.
What story do you wish you had been the one to write?
The story that I wish I had been the one to write. I actually own the entire series at home, but the Beautiful Creature series. It's a good series, and I wish, I really wish that I had that idea before, it was already taken. So, bravos to that chick to the people who wrote that. They are amazing.
Who are your favorite writers?
My favorite writers. I've actually met them both. April Henry, the woman who wrote Body in the Woods, and I don't remember all of them, but my favorite book by her is Body in the Woods. And Anthony John. He wrote Elemental, Firebrand, and Renegade, Five Flavors of Dumb, and many other more, but those are the only ones that I can really remember at the time. They are both really cool people.
Where do you get your inspiration?
Where do I get my inspiration? That's actually kind of hard. I never really thought about that, because the inspiration, like I said, I'm a very creative mind, so it just kind of comes to mind. But sometimes if I get that writer's block, what I'll do, I will, pull up some music, listen to some music, and the music that I listen to, either Aviators, Mayuji, got some Dark Souls soundtracks. I have a whole bunch of different music, even Infected Mushroom. If you know them, that's a good band.
How has writing changed you and your life?
Writing has really changed me because it brought me closer not only to my friends, but also my family. And it also changed me by, letting me be able to write down a lot of the really good fantasy ideals in my mind that I never thought would actually turn out so good.
Why did you start writing?
Well, at school, I would write a lot because, that's school. You write and you write and you write and it never ends. But, well, we were told to write a short story in school one day. And actually, it was, I think, 2 years ago. And, the story was brought back to me, and the teacher, she said it was really, really good and that I should start writing. So I did, and now I have a Wattpad page, and I throw things together and just really make a good story out of it all.
Which story are you most proud of writing?
The story I am most proud of writing would have to be my little short, 18 chapter story, Breaking Fang, on Wattpad. It's amazing. It's written fantastically, although there are a few little errors, but I'm still fixing those up. And the characters, they're easy to fall in love with, and it's got the points, it's got the action, it's got the romance, it's got the tearjerkers, and it's perfect. I love it.
What is the earliest story you remember writing?
The earliest story I remember writing would have to be, its previous name, I should say, is Ira in Life. It was very, very cheesy and ended up getting a lot of freaking reads, which I never expected to happen. So what ended up happening, I ended up revisioning it, making it better, and even giving it a new title and a new cover and everything, and now it's called Drowning in Darkness.
What story are you currently working on?
The stories I am currently working on are Living with the Devil's Child, Killing Obituary, and a newer one, a newer series, well, trilogy that is soon to come out, which will probably get me shot, not literally, but the story that I'm working on now, the newer one that I'm telling you about, the trilogy, it was actually more of a request. It was asked, and really I just figured, sure, why not? So yeah, that's how that happened to be. And then there's also another book that I'm planning to get published, hardcover stores and whatnot, called Midnight Swan.
Where do you see yourself going with your writing career?
Like I said, I'm trying to get Midnight Swan published, so I'm hoping to become a book author and, publish stories for all to read.
That is it for the writer questions. The next set are to you as an artist.
All right.
When did you first get started in art?
When I first got started in art, I was actually just a little thing. Like, I'm not even joking. I don't remember how old I was when I started drawing. But I was pretty darn young. That's what I do know. I just enjoyed it, I guess. I mean, all throughout my family, drawing and being an artist just really was kind of a thing that was passed down along the family generation from my mother's side. And I guess I just really enjoyed at the time when I was younger, I always enjoyed the fantasy, like fairies and whatnot. So I would draw those a lot more, but sometimes I didn't draw those. Sometimes I drew other things. And as I grew older, I just kind of gotten a bit morbid with my drawings. And sometimes they were even still on the fairly awesome side. And um, they just, my drawings, they just kind of, yeah, appeared.
What kind of artwork do you produce?
I just actually draw anything that comes into mind. And pretty much like if it's something, say there's something from a game that I like, that I'd really like to draw, I'll give it a shot. I'll try my best to draw, and if it turns out great, I'll post it. Which reminds me, I have to do some more stuff on my Deviantart page.
What kind of medium and equipment do you use for your artwork?
A lot of my artwork, it just kind of starts off on paper. But I do have an entire drawing set that I had that was my brother's. I actually kind of ganked it from him, but he doesn't really care. He has his own set. So I use those. I have many different pencils, sizes, and whatnot to use, and all that stuff. And when I get done, I take a picture of the artwork, and either I bring it up to my computer and get on Paint.net. That's another thing I use, and just put layers over it and work it into digital art. Like that's only when I use loose leaf paper. Or I do what I did previously with my paintings and just bring it on Paint.net, give it a border, and yeah.
Where do you get your inspiration?
My inspiration would have to be from a lot of the games I play, from a lot of the people I talk to, and really the inspiration. Oh dear. There we go. Make sure that my computer don't go down. My inspiration, it's just all over the place, and it's everywhere. There's inspiration everywhere you look, and all you really have to do is open your eyes and you'll find it.
Are there any artists that influence your work?
Two maybe, I think. I don't know. There's a lot out there that I can hardly remember anymore. But one is an older artist, and she is my grandmother. The only reason, well, it's not really known, like, by a lot of people, but, like, besides my family and her friends and whatnot. But she has this creepy painting of a clown that's eyes follow you everywhere you go. And that's kind of what inspired me to draw a lot. And the person who keeps me drawing, because he's really cool, Chris O.Z. Fulton. His artwork is amazing.
How has art changed you and your life?
Well, it really was a very big help last year whenever I was struggling with a lot of depression. But it really sets you free. Like, it can set you free from a lot of stress, and you'd be probably sitting there for hours and it may have only felt like 10 minutes. So that's really what I've done. I would just sit, draw, and be set free from all the stress and all the problems. Be gone in my mind for what feels like only 10 minutes, but may have only actually been 3 or 4 hours.
What art project are you currently working on?
Art projects that I am currently working on. So far, it's only one, but I'm going to be working on more after I finish this one. I am working on the Elsword character seal from the class mode of Dimano. And it's so far turning out pretty good. I just have to finish coloring it by now.
And we are on the last question for you. What is a fun fact about yourself?
A fun fact about myself. I don't let anything bother me much anymore. So honestly, when I look around, I don't see the world as a suffering piece of humanity that's waiting to just shrivel away. I see it as an amaryllis flower waiting to bloom, because that's all we are. I see the world differently from others.
Is there anything you'd like to say before we wrap this up?
Sure, actually. Like I said it once, I'll say it again. We are all amaryllis flowers waiting to bloom. Do not let your flower die.
Okay. To anyone who hasn't already, check in the description down below for a link to St3amed's channel, and go subscribe, comment, like, show lots of love and support. Thank you very much for joining me today. And
thank you for having me.
And I guess that's it for now. So, bye everyone.